And the price they should tell you beforehand, because it's embarrassing. You hate to quibble at the last minute.
5, 4, 3.
Never mind, later about that.
Tonight, almost live, it's America Tonight. 30 minutes of TV on the UBS network, located on the UBS Broadcasting Mall in El Tacoma, California, the unfinished furniture capital of the world, with Ukrainian dancers who dance in foreign clothes, Ted Jennings, who shoots up wherever he wants, and Ms. Abzug, who is a fine woman in her own right, with the music of Happy Kind and the Mirthmakers. And me, I'm Terry Hubbard. Hi, everybody. And now here's your host and mine, Mr. Barth Kimball.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good evening. I'm going to do something I always wanted to do. I'm only kidding you. No, you got to be careful where you put your gum. So, good evening and welcome again to America Tonight. I'm Barth Kimball, and I think it's only fair to bring you up to date, really, on my efforts to try to bring a fresh, new face to situation comedy and to have that face attached to my body. I've mentioned here a couple of times my efforts to get the UBS programming geniuses. And these are the same people who are convinced that they're going to win Saturday afternoons with live coverage of women's soccer. But we'll try to get these people to take a serious look at my new situation comedy idea. It's called For God's Sake. We've talked about it before. And, of course, I play God. Okay? I thought so. Well, after Jerry and I read some of the sample dialogue from the show here on this show, I must tell you, the phone here rang right off the hook, but I put it back on the hook, and then I answered it, and it was Mr. Roger Draper in the network's Program Development and Enlargement Department. And he said, "You've definitely got something there. Come on in. Let's talk." So we did exactly that. We had quite an interesting couple of hours together. No lunch, but it was fun, and I think we may be definitely rolling with this show. I know, I'm excited too. So, let's just hope this doesn't turn out to be another one of those screw Barth Kimball situations. I'm praying it doesn't. Anyway, as you may remember, the plot of the show each week was basically that I encounter someone who doesn't believe in God, and I have to prove it to him or her. We can go either way with the thing. Well, if you're listening, Raj, well, let's put it this way. I think I know him well enough to, well, why take chances? That's silly. Mr. Draper liked the basic idea of me meeting a different person each week, but he thought he might have trouble with, you know, the God angle, especially in the Midwest and the South and some parts of the East and North, and some of the cities with large Catholic populations, and of course some of the more conservative Jewish groups and minorities. So he suggested a little change, which I actually think makes the show more original. In this case, I'm St. Peter, and every week I come down to see if someone deserves to be in heaven. And so the name of the show becomes For Pete's Sake. It's almost the same thing. And still has that great twist. And it also gives us a lot more dimension with the character, because I don't have to prove I'm God every week, which could become kind of a rut. This way, one week I can give someone $1 million. The next week I could stumble onto some kind of grisly murder case and help solve it so the victim can go to heaven, right? It's just got an incredible amount of possibilities. And of course, since I'm a saint, I've got superpowers, I can disappear, I can fly, things like that. It's wonderful. Last I heard, Roger Draper had kicked the whole idea upstairs here at UBS, and maybe even General Unger Witter himself is making the go or no-go decision right at the moment. All I can say is somebody thought All in the Family and Star Wars sounded stupid when they first heard of them, and now someone else is being stupid all the way to the bank. What can I say? So maybe if you folks believe in praying, this might be a time to give Barth a hand or a couple of hands together, and let's see if we can't make Barth Kimball in prime time a reality for 78 or 79. I think that's a great idea. Why don't you? Okay, thank you.
I like the way you talk, huh? I love For Pete's Sake. There's still a part for me, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want those fencing lessons and dancing lessons to go for nothing.
No, because in every scene you always have the one principal here, the other one principal here. That looks staged unless you have someone walking around in the background, you know, as a doorman or an elevator operator, that kind of thing. Someone in a car driving by. Of course there's room for you, Jerry.
Okay.
So I think that'd be a lot of fun, and I don't mind seeing you do it. Okay. The thing that saves us is guests, and we have them. Our next guests are two young members of the Quad City Ukrainian Society, and Happy Kind and the, no, it is, they're here. Happy Kind and the Mirthmakers have recently played at some Ukrainian celebration. That may sound like a contradiction in terms, but it is a Ukrainian celebration, and they had a big dance.
Is Happy Ukrainian?
No, but he's not proud either, so they paid in advance, and so anyway, Happy joined in the alleged fun, and he'll be doing the same thing here tonight.
That's wonderful.
And Happy, it surprised me. Not only playing,
You didn't get down that low, though, did you? Not as low as him. My legs ache just looking at him. You know, I bet Barth hasn't seen dancing like that since his cheerleader days.
You were a cheerleader?
No, he wasn't a cheerleader, but he knew a cheerleader in Miami. And he used to have her come up and the whole team, didn't he? After the show, there's some great
Jerry!
stories. Not the young fellow.
Jerry! You kids are pretty good at this kind of dancing. It's,
Thank you.
Well, you are too, Happy. It's a shame nobody's interested in it these days, or you can make a lot of money. Now, that's not your hair, right? That's a hat.
Right.
But you still have to get it cut every now and then?
That's true.
We'll be right back. Thank you, Happy. We're back. That was wonderful dancing, and I wish we could do more of it, but we have some people back in the other room there. We have 2 rooms here at UVS. We're pretty proud of that, and we're going to bring them out in just a minute. We're all familiar with private enterprise law enforcement. They have security guards now hired to protect buildings. We have one in our guard shack right here. Private detectives can be hired for anything, but my next guest feels we need more independent law enforcement, and he should know he is one. Please welcome Mr. Ted Jennings. You don't even need a gun, Ted. That's quite a handshake. That's great. Now, are you a police officer?
No, I'm not, Barth. I was in the Marine Corps. Then I joined a private security guard service.
Okay.
And I've noticed that our police departments are simply understaffed. And I feel that private enterprise can take up the slack.
Okay, so you would have more independent guard services, that kind of thing, to watch over buildings, parking lots, and that sort of thing. More of these people, right?
No, it's more serious than that, Barth. I've formed a team of highly skilled professionals at a low cost, open to the public availability as a freelance SWAT team. We're listed in the Yellow Pages under Econo SWAT.
That's great.
I've bought you and Jerry down a couple of our advertising T-shirts
Oh, that's terrific. Thank you.
and some literature.
Okay. I have a personal aversion to any clothing with something written on it, but I know someone who would like this. That's very nice.
This lets them know that we're on their side in case bullets start flying.
Absolutely. Now, how does this work? How does this... If the regular police SWAT team gets too busy or something, you just pick up the overflow business? Is that it?
That's right, Barth. We can give them 4 men in a van and 30 rounds of ammo for $1,000.
How many men do you have on call?
Well, it wouldn't be good strategy to give out the exact number.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry.
But I could never go out of business with just one bad day. I could lose a truckload and keep on trucking. If you dig my drift.
Yeah, of course, we're talking humans here. I'm sure the police department is actually very grateful for this service.
They are, Barth. But we're more concerned with your average John Doe. We'll lay siege to anything, anywhere, anytime. For example, a jealous man suspects his wife is in a motel with another man.
Uh-oh.
Now, if he goes down there, he may go out of his mind and shoot the both of them and himself in the end.
Probably a ricocheting bullet strike himself in the end. It's a joke, and I shouldn't joke in this situation.
Now, that's pretty serious business.
God forbid anything like that should happen, yeah.
Well, yes, absolutely. It's troublesome. Econo SWAT would go flush these people out of the motel or something like that. Now, how much would the husband have to pay for that service?
Your average motel flushing will run about $250. That is, of course, based on double occupancy.
Yeah.
Now, if there's more than one guy in there, that's another story.
Ooh, it's one I bet I'd love to hear. But later. Oh, we have more here. Yeah. This is good.
We also get a lot of calls from people in apartments complaining about noisy parties next door. These people can take advantage of our low-cost party SWAT plan. The sight of a man standing in a doorway with a submachine gun will generally get that stereo turned down to almost nothing.
Are we getting that? There, good. There, that's good. You can see that now. Okay, are you getting glare? There it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, that's amazing. Now, do you use much tear gas in these everyday suburban operations?
Tear gas sometimes works in the party SWAT operation, but it's useless at the teenagers' parties. There's usually so much smoke in there that nobody notices the tear gas. And we have a special hippie raid. We call it our pot SWAT plan. The casual knock on the door usually doesn't work in this case, so we shoot off the locks and kick the sucker down.
That must be quite a shock. Do they run for cover and scurry like little mice, or what?
No, they usually just look up at us with their little beady red eyes and say, far out. Now, we want to help these kids, of course, before they lose their minds completely. So we try to bring them down by taking them outside, tying them up to telephone poles, and putting ice cubes down their pants.
Apparently, it's happened to some of our audience. Or is happening. I'm not sure. Sounds like you've got yourself another winner here, Ted, and good luck to you, and especially to any innocent bystanders around you. We'll be right back after these words. Stay with us. Miss Bella Abzug. Isn't he good? We've changed our locale here a little bit to kind of give an aura of dignity to the show because our next guest is one of the most popular and accomplished politicians in America today. She served in Congress for 6 years. She's been the chairwoman of the House Subcommittee on Government Information and Individual Rights and was also a founder of the National Women's Political Caucus. I hope I said that right. Caucus, I believe it is. Please welcome Miss Bella Abzug. Abzug. This is such a treat, because usually we have such jerks on the show. This is wonderful. Bella, you've been active
How did I manage to slide in?
I guess there was an oversight. But it's wonderful to have you here. You've been active for so many, many years in so many causes in your career. What do you think are the most important issues in American politics today?
Well, I think that employment is very important. Absolutely. I think the struggle to provide a decent future for people who have been excluded from opportunities, young people, minorities, women. I believe that we want to find the path to international peace. I think it's terribly important that after 200 years of history that we begin to recognize that women should be in the Constitution, and that we should pass the Equal Rights Amendment.
You cannot deny that is a vital issue, and it's important that we give women the recognition they deserve for the work they do, and no one can deny that. And I've always wanted to ask a woman like yourself, who has accomplished so darn much. You make so many speeches, you draft so much legislation. Tell me this, do you do your own typing?
I guess you haven't heard that we don't do our typing any more than we do our own dishes anymore.
Oh, so you have someone...
Actually, I have some people who type for me.
I'll bet you keep them hopping, too.
I try.
Do you have... Secretaries, that's nice.
That is wonderful. Do you keep, girls probably don't have much time to sit around and file their nails, that type of thing, do they?
Well, Craig has short nails, and Michael doesn't polish his nails either.
So in other words, I think it's even a greater accomplishment there that you can't type and you still got all those wonderful jobs. I could never type because you know, those typewriters, they put all the letters out of sequence. My God. Well, you know, it's wonderful, but it does make you realize why the home isn't the center of our lives anymore, and what is the reason for that, huh? I think I can tell you. I'll tell you the reason. It's because women are never home anymore. Now, I'm not being critical, but I think a lot of the problem in this country could be solved if there were just somebody home to bake cookies. I mean, America used to be mom and apple pie. Now, who knows where mom is? Half the time she's taking some night class.
Very interesting question, because women are supposed to be great cooks, and yet when we hear about the chefs in the restaurants, they're always men, and women can only cook at home but not in restaurants. And now we're trying to change that. So we're having some of the women cooking in restaurants and becoming chefs, and some of the men are learning how to cook at home.
Well,
and so,
absolutely, and I think it should make the switch complete and have the wife take the husband out for dinner.
Well, I bet the waiters would love that, to have a female chef back there. When she's turning around cooking, they could give her a little, take my order next.
I never take him out when we go out to eat. It's for those reasons.
I can understand that.
Jerry, Bella here is doing very, very valuable things in our civilization. I think deserves a little bit more respect than you've been giving here.
But it just seems to me that, you know, the apple pie is gone from our homes, and we've become a nation of stale Twinkies and ding-dongs. Although I love a good Twinkie and ding-dong occasionally, too. And apple pie.
I think my last word was respect, was it? Yeah. Just checking, okay. So, well, maybe next time you could think before you talk about these things.
Okay.
Jerry? Pardon me, Ms. Abzug, but Jerry's not really up on the meaningful issues of women's rights, and I think he's certainly helped them, though, by the things he's said. He has some difficulty relating to a woman who has accomplished as much as you have, quite honestly. So let's change the subject, and I'll ask you the gut questions, the real hard stuff. Tell me this. Do you make your own clothes?
Do you? I mean, that's pretty flashy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's an interesting thing that clothes are really become interchangeable.
Mm-hmm. Well, this goes with anything, if that's what you mean,
right.
yeah.
I mean, it's very flashy and very colorful, and as a matter of fact, it's not traditional for men to wear all those jazzy colors. So, I don't know, I would say that that's a changing style in our society.
Well, I hope so, and I like to think I'm setting it.
I don't make my own clothes. Did your grandmother make her own clothes?
I think she did, yes.
How about your mother?
My mother made some of them, yes.
And your wife?
How could your mother make your grandmother's clothes?
Well, I think she made her own clothes.
Oh, I misunderstood. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But women do like to make their own clothes, I know, but men don't really. Men don't, too many of them sew, make clothes. Or am I wrong?
Well, we're teaching them how.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
It's interesting. There are some young boys in school who want to learn how to sew and how to bake, and there are some girls and young girls in school who want to learn how to chop wood and become humorists and
Sure.
gag writers the way
Sure.
you're trying to become.
What do you think about the young, the women should be equal to the man, and they shouldn't be treated from. What do you think? You still see the young girls today wearing the tight clothes and the short little short.
Yes, and I see some men doing the same.
I'd like to see some of these young girls that wear these outrageous outfits. I'd like to see them take them off once and for all, and you know, maybe old-fashioned.
Yeah, I think I know why you say that, Jerry. We'll be right back after these words. I'm sorry.
I have some more questions.
Excuse me, I was just kind of rinsing my mouth out with my soda here. I think when people go out to a secondhand store, spend $35, $40 on a television set, you don't expect to see little bits of orange here. And I was eating not an orange, but a carrot, which is also orange. But yet the orange got called orange. For some reason, the carrot is not called a carrot. It's not a color. Russet is a color, but there's no vegetable named a russet. Kind of interesting, isn't it? We also have cream cheese in celery. And we have those little toothpicks there and some bits of melon. You might want to try that at your next get-together. That's it for tonight. I want to thank my guests. It's been wonderful. We've had darn close to a good time. See you tomorrow.
Tonight, some members of our studio audience will receive the following. Classic curves from Dittos, the Feel the Fit Company. Pants to make every woman feel beautiful in sizes 3 to 13 and 8 to 18. And Lillian Vernon's catalog gift certificate. Jewelry, gifts, decor, personalized items, and things from practical to whimsical. And I prefer whimsical. Furnished by Lillian Vernon. And slip your face into something comfortable. Face Quencher by Chapstick. Moisturizing makeup, blusher, and powder.
Tonight at 11 on Monty Python, a politician looking for revenue discovers one pleasure left to man and woman that is not yet taxed. And next, Charlie Zane.
Bobby Orisman as Keith, Nancy Mantero as Kimberly, and J.J. Johnson as Ted Jennings. And a special guest appearance by Ms. Bella Abzug.